How much time do you think it takes for a person to change? How much time do you think is needed to invoke growth? That time is definitely needed, but it is for sure not the only thing. Let me tell you, if I just spent my whole high school life all in my room playing games all day, I would for sure not be the person that I am today. Now, before I got into high school, I was a kid that loved playing video games, but that kind of came at a cost because that was all that I really did. I was a bit socially awkward and inept and only really hung around a few of my friends that I had. Now, here's what me and my friends looked like before high school, and damn, we were looking like the Three Musketeers, the Three Amigos, man. Same hair, same glasses, same ethnicity. We were looking like we were some robots out of a factory, dude. Back then I had some pretty horrible acne, and even further back, I was actually a chubby kid. But now I'm kinda looking a bit studious, a bit slick if I might say so myself.
Stop the cap!
But that's growth all on the outside that time does work on. But the person inside the body was all work that I put in. Throughout the video, I will be contributing certain traits of growth to specific events in my life. They are open to growth, intellectually competent, loving, religious,
How great is our God!
and commitment to justice. Now, my biggest moment of growth of my whole high school life was for sure in freshman year. Now, technically, it wasn't even something that happened during school, but in the summer. My school at the time offered an educational trip to Europe, traveling to different countries for 10 days. The reason why this trip was so monumental for me was because it was the first time I went out of the States and went somewhere far without my family. The whole experience really challenged me to adapt out of my comfort zone and interact with people and the outside world a whole lot more. I kind of realized that I was my own individual and not just some attachment to my family. I could actually express myself a lot more than just playing games inside my house. So that whole experience for me was for sure number one in the open to growth bit. There was another big moment of growth for me during freshman year. For some context, at that time, I really wanted a girlfriend. And as a kid, I really thought that having a girlfriend was the best thing in the world. But looking back at it, I was still really immature and dumb to be in a relationship. Now, the main issue for young me to get a girl was that I went to an old boys school, dude, and that was because it was a private Jesuit high school. I asked some other kid in school for help, and he said I should use Snapchat.
What the hell?
Now, that was my first time ever using social media, so I had to adapt and learn all the texting lingo, because I never really needed to text with anybody before high school. I remember an older friend of mine at the time telling me I had to stop texting incomplete sentences and using punctuation and all that, because it was ruining my chances with the huz.
Yeah, say what's up, the hash.
Using Snapchat for dating was absolutely the worst experience for me during freshman year, despite just me like being dumb as a kid. Like the main meta at the time, apparently for communicating, was just like snapping photos of like absolutely nothing. Me and the girls I was trying to talk to, and damn, I was really trying to talk to, because I was like shooting 100 air balls a day, was just taking pictures of like the ceiling or barely the side of like our faces. Honestly, most of my experience was just barely any talking, which to be fair makes sense if like a random guy just adds you, but it was like, how else am I supposed to meet any girls? Barely really talking to any girls basically just made me desperate for attention, which led me to doing like pretty dumb stuff. Like I tried to start off the conversation being like, "Yo girl, wanna hear me rap?" And let me tell you, I was no freestyle rapist, bro.
Yeah, we're 4 little Asian kids hanging on the backyard doing all the bliss things. We getting good grades. Everybody, nobody struggling with grades, yeah. But school still suppressing and making me depressing. I always have no fun until I hang out with my homies, yeah.
But what the
What?
hell, boy?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
No, yeah, man, that was horrible, bro. I feel like I can die after just hearing that. I really just thought that was cool at the time to get girls interested in me. And then I also did more stupid stuff, like just stuff like Speed or Jinxie would do, bro. Like, man, I was down bad freshman year. Ultimately, at the end of freshman year, I deleted that dumb app and called it off as a waste of time. And me doing that instead of holding on to another year doing stupid stuff to just get girls' attention really allowed me to grow more next year. What I learned that year was that love isn't doing stupid stuff to appease somebody, basically acting like a jester for their attention, and that helped me grow out of that desperate phase in my life. Now the next 2 years of my life would really broaden my social skills and activities. I started working out and going to the gym, and that basically started my high school glow up. I went from looking like this to this. Working out was fun, but damn, I had to get used to track and cross country. Like damn bro, I was struggling. I was like the slowest of the bunch because I never ran in my life before then. I didn't do any physical stuff before high school besides like PE or when I tried like basketball during 8th grade, but bro, we were complete buns at that too. What I learned from doing all that physical stuff though was that I enjoyed being part of a team, and what I really discovered is that I get strength through others. I'm not really a competitive guy, like I don't even play video games. I lean into that aspect like Siege or CSGO. Definitely not my cup of tea. I remember one of my coaches being like, "So, you need to lock in and stop helping the enemy. You are a running machine, damn it." Especially during cross country, whenever I came across a guy that was struggling or slowing down, I would encourage them to keep going. Because from my perspective, I understood that type of pain. I mean, like, I was that guy. I was the slowpoke. And I've always wanted to keep doing my best to support others, and that encouraging also helped me to keep running. So my whole physical fitness journey over my high school life was just me being open to growth, and helped me to realize how loving I could be. I also developed a hobby of photographing. I originally wanted a camera to start making my own YouTube flicks, but my neighbor helped me out and gave me a photo camera instead. So I saw the opportunity to use that cam during homecoming my junior year, cause like, man, it's not like I had a date. So I thought it would be useful to take some photos for my school. That night, I also learned that I love going to dances. I've danced before on my own, like listening to music of the speaker when I'm in the shower in my room. But that night and future events like prom helped me realize that like, damn, I was really dancing, bro. And some people don't like dancing or know how to, so I took that thing that I liked as something that I really got. So I took pictures of like those dances and in sports, and then for like events that my school was doing. Over time, I got better at taking pictures and editing them. Like in the beginning, I didn't even know there was this quick autofocus setting, and was just manually setting the focus myself using the live image screen to take shots instead of like looking through the little camera hole. I was also a part of the drama guild for my school, and at the time I was helping with the lights, and then joined the ensemble for my senior year. It was really fun performing and learning the dance moves for it all. I also went on some religious retreats that the school offered. Emmaus and Kairos really gave us a break from school for some days and focused us to really reflect upon ourselves in the past, present, and future. It showed me how guys that were the class clowns aren't just shallow people and had depth within them. I never really hated those guys, and honestly, I'm not really a hateful person because nobody's really wronged me. They had their own issues and problems in their life that the day-to-day school life would just never reveal to me. And that insight gave me some appreciation towards the school. Another trip that really had some impact in my life was the New Orleans immersion trip. Now, we went to New Orleans for 10 days to help in food banks and homeless shelters. That trip helped me realize that I enjoy just like doing the monotonous work that will ultimately end up helping people. Like I did stuff that usually I wouldn't do, and again, you know, do work and not just enjoy the luxury of playing games. Trips like the New Orleans trip and the retreats made me closer to God in a sense. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm exactly a great Christian, but something I realized over these past experiences is that I actually really do pray and ask God for help when I'm really struggling. Like when I'm in a race or when I'm away from home. Because that's when I realized I'm not within the comfort of my house. Being in pain reminded myself of how fragile and weak I really am, and the need that I understand to gain more strength to withstand the difficulties that life is going to throw at me. When I'm not comfortable in my bed and am somewhere I've never been before, I rely more on God for safety. What I've realized is that being comfortable all the time makes you complacent, and I did not like that. It made me more easy to just waste time and not allow myself chances to grow into a better version of myself. So the retreats and the different trips that I went on really gave me an opportunity to grow, be more loving, and religious. Now, those years weren't all so positive. I started to put less effort and emphasis on my academics junior year, and honestly, that was because I was starting to get burnt out doing like several AP classes and trying to uphold those grades to a high standard. I also went through some emotional issues, like I wouldn't say I was exactly depressed, but I was feeling really down at the time and just felt like giving up. Like I said before, I didn't like being complacent, and I felt like I was too comfortable in that house. There wasn't anything specific that my parents did for me to leave in that instance, but I just felt like I needed to leave and get some space. Now, they're not bad people, but they're not perfect people either. Even people as old as them are still growing. I went to school the next day in the morning with my stuff and asked them if there was anywhere I could stay for the night. The school helped me to find a youth shelter nearby that I could stay at, but my counselor really wanted me to consider going back home. I only stayed there one day, but what I learned being there was that everyone is their own unique person. All the other kids that were there because they were rejected from their own family. One kid was rejected because they converted to Islam, another kid was rejected because they were gay. I felt like I was very out of place. Despite my different circumstances to all the other kids, a caretaker of the shelter told me that regardless of how insignificant I thought my reasoning for being there was, is actually no less worthwhile than every other kid there. I went back home only after one day, and even though one day might seem insignificant for growth, I did learn that even with my parents' flaws, they still accepted and loved me. That whole event really helped me to learn about what loving was and to seek someone professional to voice my personal issues to. I profoundly remember some priest at my school telling me that I am a lovable person, that I need to stop condemning myself so harshly for the flaws that I have, because at the end of the day, I'm only human. And being human doesn't mean you've done the right thing your whole life, or that you knew what the right thing was. I've always killed myself with embarrassment of failing somebody else, whether that was disappointing my parents or messing up with a girl. A real loving relationship involves communication and forgiveness. I try the best that I can, and if I made mistakes that I'm committed to improving on, the real ones will give you the chances to make it up. Because what I learned is that no one owes any help or second chances to you, so when you're given that, you take that opportunity seriously. We're all bound to mess up in our life. And the real ones that stick around, they'll define you who you are based off of that. They define you by the commitment you have to always be better. And even if someone doesn't want to give you another chance and then continue their own life without you, you have to continue your own life with yourself. So you owe it to yourself to forgive your mistakes or wrongdoings and continue your journey of being the best possible version that you could be.